Okay, welcome again to Soul Infused Monday. I just got kicked out, so let me know if you can see and hear me every week to set the tone for a wonderful, uplifting week. Tell me if you actually can hear and see me. I was just kicked out from Facebook. So, and if you're watching the replay, as I'm waiting here a few moments for people to join in live, leave a comment below and tell me that you're here. Tell me where you're watching from. And thank you for being patient. Technology sometimes doesn't work the way we want it to. And thank you for being here on the show with me today, live or on the replay. Hit the like and love button so that I know you're here and where you're watching from. Fantastic. So, and if you are new to my show or new to my work, my name is Sonia Buena de la Torre. I'm a passionate self-love and energy coach, and I'm here to help you to connect to yourself, to get to know who you are, to love yourself, and to create a life you really, really want. So, who is here? Emily, good morning. Okay, you guys see and hear me. Fantastic. Today's topic is 3 things that keep you stuck. There are more than 3 things, obviously, but over the many, many years that I've been doing the inner work and have been working with hundreds of women and men all over the world, I keep seeing things over and over that are kind of common. So I want to talk about them. So to see if that's maybe something that's keeping you stuck, and what does it even mean to be stuck? And I'm here also to answer any questions. And I have one question for you first before I even dive deeper into you. What does it mean to you to be stuck? And are you stuck? And what's keeping you stuck? Like, what do you believe is keeping you stuck? Or do you actually feel like you're stuck sometimes? So let me know where you're at right now on your journey. Also, if you're on the replay, tune in for a moment. Take this moment right now to take a nice deep breath. Take a moment to remove distractions. Close any other windows, close your email, mute your phone. Make this time valuable for you so that you get the most out of it. When we multitask, we are not present really with anything. So take this moment to tune in, become present, and share with me what being stuck means to you, or if you currently feel stuck, like, so that I can help you even maybe here live on the show. And I was talking to my beautiful assistant the other day. And we're just talking about, you know, things that, about the show and things that we want to prepare. And I was talking about the things that I keep seeing people being stuck with. And so she was so sweet, because when she started to work with me, she didn't really know what she was getting into. Because when you work for me, with me, you cannot not get support and coached, and things will come up because it's just my gift, you know. And she's so grateful now, because there were things that she was kind of burying down and they're coming up. And even though it's challenging, she said, oh my God, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to work with you, because it forces me basically to look and to work on things. And I'm sharing this with you because so many people are afraid of doing the deeper inner work because of what might come up. But the liberation and the gratitude and the joy and the freedom that comes out of it is just so beyond the fear. So I just wanted to mention that because it just popped into my head. So Emily's saying, yes, it happens. It's usually my unwillingness to just take a step. Yeah. Hey, Tina. Hi, Heather. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Katrin. Tamira. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Emily, thank you for sharing. That brings me, that's one of the pieces as well. So you're on spot here. Okay, so 3 things that might keep you stuck. Some of them you know, and it's not about knowing, it's about how you're being, what you're doing about it, and how you move forward. So the number one, not the number one, that's actually not true, but the first thing that I'm going to share, one of the things that keep us stuck, and when I talk about being stuck, what I mean is that you are in a place where you know you don't want to be, and it doesn't feel comfortable. However, you're also not moving forward. So it's okay to be stuck sometimes, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable, because if you're not uncomfortable, you're actually not stretching and you're not growing. So therefore, you wouldn't even have a feeling of stuckness. So the first thing I want to say is, like, feeling stuck or being stuck is not a bad thing at all. It just means that you hit an obstacle, or you hit a wall, or you hit something that feels like you're not penetrating through, and therefore you feel that you are not where you want to be, but you're kind of behind there and you don't know how to go there. And that feeling of stuckness, that feeling of being trapped sometimes or not in flow, is very uncomfortable. However, it's per se not a bad thing if you do something with it. So if you stay stuck forever, that's very, very uncomfortable. That will simply lead to more pain and suffering. And there's no reason for you to stay stuck. And you can definitely do something about that. Does that make sense? Is that fear keeps me stuck? Yes. Let's talk about that, because that's the first thing. So the first thing of the three that I'm going to share with you today, there are way more, but three of the things, and I cannot go as deep today in order to peel off the layers, but I want to give you a good overview to give you something to walk forward with that you can work with. So one of the things is fear. And I'm going to talk about this for a moment, because fear is very general, it's very broad, and most of you know that. Like, it's not like, oh my God, this is rock, like, I've never heard this before, you're blowing my mind. No, I'm sure I'm not blowing your mind right now when I say fear is one of the things that keep you stuck. However, I want to talk about it because that alone doesn't help you at all either. So, and one of the things that I see also in moving forward or releasing that stuckness is that you generally understand that you are afraid, or that there's fear, and you're conscious of it, and yet it's not very clear the specific fear underneath and how it operates in unconscious ways. And that's so interesting with the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. When I say the unconscious mind, you believe then that, oh, I understand it now because I know it's unconscious, so it's conscious now. No, it still stays unconscious. It's like this huge iceberg image that we sometimes use for the subconscious mind, is that you only literally see like, 2% of it, and all the rest is really hidden. So even though with your 2% conscious mind, you understand there is like this huge iceberg underneath the surface, and yet you seeing it with your 2% still doesn't get you that deep. Does that make sense? So it's definitely one thing is fear. And fear, to go more specific and find out what fear is it. I'm going to share a few common fears. There are way more, but some of the common fears that I see over the years is, one big one is the fear of being seen and therefore not feeling safe. Who can relate to that? Who can relate to the fear of truly being seen and being out there in the world? So that's one big fear. Another fear is actually, it's twofold. It's interesting. It's paradox, but it's the same. It's like fear of not being good enough, and at the same time, fear of success. And they're all interrelated, but just tune what resonates maybe for you. And tune in what's your fear. And if you have a sense of what it is, type it here in the chat box. One is fear of being seen, fear of not feeling good enough or not being good enough, fear of success actually, and fear of failing is a big fear of many. So just to mention a few. And then underneath those fear, there are sub-fears as well that individualize for where you are on your journey, how your upbringing was, with the patterns and the blocks that are energetically and emotionally still in your system. And even though you are aware of that you are afraid and you know you could do it anyway, we often don't do it. So fear is one thing definitely that can keep you stuck. Can, doesn't have to, can. So let me know what some of your fears are. I would love to hear fear of not being good enough. Yeah, Tina, yeah, a lot of, yes, I can, yes, okay, great, makes sense. Tune in, what's one of the fears that you know and you see might have been keeping you stuck? So the fear alone is not the problem. Because here's the reality, and you hear me say this a lot, and I know that a lot of gurus out there keep people in misery pretending that you be totally fearless, there's no fear, and then everything is fine. So as long as you're on a human experience, as long as you are actually alive here on this planet, you're gonna experience fear. It's part of our being, it's part of our makeup, it's part of an evolution. That's not the problem. The challenge is the fear that comes from a wounded place that keeps repeating itself and that keeps you stuck, and also when it doesn't keep you moving. So the fear itself is not the problem, it's what you do about the fear, how you handle the fear, how you deal with fear is what makes the difference. So that's one piece. The second thing is that, and it can relate to fear or something else, is that you don't trust yourself, or you don't trust something else, like a trust issue. It's very related with the belief or the sense of not being good enough. And when you have a sense of not being good enough, if you don't know who you are, it's very difficult to trust yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, you most likely won't trust something on the outside, because the outside is a reflection on the inside. So I'll give you an example. When I recently worked with a couple, and so they really struggled with her being very jealous, and they often had really bad fights because no matter what he was saying or doing, she just didn't trust him, right? And I think it's a very common thing, and sometimes it's vice versa. If it's the man or the woman, it doesn't really matter. And maybe you can relate to that. And there's always, you know, different components. But why I'm sharing this is I worked with her, and, you know, got her to a place to really dig a little deeper where the wounds came from, where the pain was coming from. And she had a deep wound of being abandoned by her dad when she was very young. So that that came out in her life, in every relationship with a man. And because she never knew how to trust herself when she was little, because when we are little, like when we are like 2 or 3 years old or very young, we depend on someone else. So everything that happens on the outside is directly related to us. We take it personal. So she had no sense of self-trust, and she felt like she wasn't good enough, because that's the story we start to create and build when someone abandons us, actually, when we are very young. Because what other reason for a young child's mind is that a parent would leave, or anyone for that matter that's important, a caregiver, if it would not something be wrong with us. So early on it begins, and then because she had that wound, no matter what the other person would say on the outside, she just doesn't trust him because she didn't have trust within herself, and that created a lot of friction. So just wanted to share that to give you an example, and I hope this makes sense. So not trusting yourself keeps you stuck, because when you're not trusting yourself, you always depend on someone else's approval or someone else's opinion, and there's a certain amount of, again, fear that correlates with that not trusting. So it's really, really interwoven, right? Does that make sense? Let me see. And if you have a specific question about this, put it in the comment section below. I'm happy to help you. Feeling stuck is when I get overwhelmed and tired and don't feel like doing the work. Resistance. Yeah, exactly. So, and you just said something that is crucial here. So the fear is not the problem. The resistance is not the problem. Self-sabotage is not the problem. The limiting beliefs are not the problem. It's what we do about it or what we don't do about it. So the third thing I keep seeing the most that keeps people stuck the most over time. So it's okay if you're stuck in between. That's fine, because it's part of the journey. But the number one thing that I keep seeing people stay stuck is because they don't invest in themselves. So if you're someone who keeps investing in yourself, you are progressing and you know it. Even if your mind might say, oh yeah, I've done so much work already, I should be further along. Maybe you still have some of those thoughts. However, if you are someone that keeps investing in yourself, you will keep moving forward and you will you will get unstuck every time you hit. Maybe not right overnight, but there is no way of you not moving and progressing if you keep investing in yourself. And what I see, the reasons why people don't invest in themselves are very different. But again, it goes back to fear and not trusting themselves. And often that is masked with, things like, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, or I have to, like there's something on the outside circumstances that and I was there is no judgment from my side. Can't tell you how often I had those thoughts, and when I thought, oh yeah, I would like to, but I could not. Or if I had that, I would. So it's never really the money, it's never really the time, it's never really the family, it's never really your kids. So we use excuses, not consciously, but unconsciously, and we make us believe that that's the reason why I cannot invest in myself. No, the reason that we don't invest in ourselves is that we're scared, that we don't trust ourselves, or we don't trust that person. And we believe, there is a belief that you can do it yourself, or that you should do it yourself. So the combination of believing and wanting to do it all themselves and not investing is the number one thing that keeps people stuck. I've been seeing that over the last 15 years. And investing in yourself does not only mean monetary, however, it means monetary. Because if you don't invest monetary, that means you are not investing in something high quality, and you don't have accountability, and you don't have something that as soon as you hit a layer that you want to give up, someone is actually going to stand there for you, stand in the fire for you, and keep you moving even though your stuff is coming up. And that's what I keep seeing over and over. And looking back, like when I think about my clients are rock stars. They're the most amazing women and men, courageous. They are scared. Nobody just jumps into when they want to work with me. It's like, oh yeah, here's the money, have it, and yeah, all good. No, everybody's scared. Everybody has some issues, either financially or time-wise. And it's really the commitment and the courage and the understanding that you can never get as far alone than with someone. And I often bring the analogy in sports that you do never as much with alone, even though you can, than if someone goes with you. And the most successful people in the world, like think of a Michael Jordan or some other person out there, that once they're trained or they did something and got good, they said, okay, I'm good now. I don't need to train anymore. I don't need to be coached anymore. If you want to reach high level of success, high level of performance, high level of self-love, confidence, inner peace, spiritual connection, if you want to live full out, you gotta invest in yourself. You gotta have someone that helps you to go over those blocks, to overcome those fears, to get you to places, to dive deep into where this, like the iceberg is, that you would never go by yourself. So no matter where you are on your journey, maybe you're in the very beginning and you're only touching certain, self-help books, or you kind of be in the beginning, or maybe you've been on the journey for a while and you've done work already, or maybe you've done work for years, and most people that get to work with me have done a lot of work already. And regardless on where you are on your journey, if you invest in yourself, is what moves you forward and will liberate you and will release the stuff that's holding you back, one step at a time. So does that resonate with you guys? Am I landing here? People will make fun of me. That's your fear, Katrin. Yeah, totally understand that. I'm sure many relate to that one too. Trusting is huge. Yes, Emily, absolutely. And Tamira is saying, I'm the same with Darlene. I get unmotivated and distracted along with comfortable even when I write all my to-do lists. Yes, absolutely, Tamira. Thank you for sharing that. And here's the thing, again, we believe we can do it ourselves. We have everything. We know what to do. I'm sure you have your to-do list, and okay, I want to accomplish this, and this. And you don't wake up in the morning saying, okay, I'm going to have my to-do list and I'm going to totally not do it. And I feel like a piece of shit at the end of the day because I didn't accomplish it. Nobody does that consciously, right? And how many days How many days does that happen? That we have good intentions and at the end of the day, we look back and think, I didn't do it. So once we can let go of the belief that we got to do it ourselves and that there's something wrong with us, and you truly, truly invest in yourself because you are the most important investment in your life. You are the most important person in your life. If you are a mother and you have kids, you are the most important person in your life because they depend on you and they will only go as far as you can go. If you have a business that you want to grow, if you are a healer, a coach, you are the most important person. The investment in your personal leadership, in your personal way of being, and you truly trusting and loving yourself is the most important investment. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to the world. I'm so adamant about, I'm so passionate about sharing that because so often we put energy, time, and money for everything else, and we put ourselves last. You are the most important investment. And if you've been feeling stuck in some way, and even if your mind says, yeah, but Sonia, you don't understand my situation, I really don't have the money. I used to be a waitress and I was earning 400 euros a month. I didn't know how to pay my rent sometimes. But when I went to that decision, then I said, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to love myself, and I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it. And I found ways to do it, and I stopped listening to that excuse. There's always a way. There's always a way. So if you're stuck and you really want to move forward, that's the number one thing you want to do. And you're on the way already. And if you are investing in yourself and you do feel stuck, then that's okay. It's part of the journey. I still feel stuck sometimes. And then I, do my work and go to my coach and keep moving because it goes bigger and nicer and over and it's just unlimitless. Okay, let me see if you have any questions and I gotta jump off. So true. Okay, wonderful. Okay, good. So tune in for a second. What's the most valuable thing? Take the time for a moment. Take the time, invest this moment in yourself. Invest this moment in yourself. Tune in. What's the most valuable thing you're getting out of this today? And leave a comment below. Also, if you're on the replay. What is the most valuable thing you're hearing me say? And leave a comment below. Invest in yourself in this moment. And for all of you guys who are here and starting the Self-Love Bootcamp tomorrow, I'm so excited. I'm so proud of you. You're so courageous. You're so in it. And we are complete. We're starting. And if you've been watching this and you've been kind of like on the fence of if you want to join my Self-Love Bootcamp, there's one spot, a bonus spot that I can still fill up. If you're interested in hearing any more of that, or if you're interested in hearing what does it mean for you personally to invest, or what is your next step, leave me a comment below with, I want to take a next step. Because what your next step is, I don't even know, but I will help you find what your next best step is. If you're joining the bootcamp tomorrow, you don't have to write this is your best step. But if you are in a place that you feel, man, yes, I felt stuck, I want to take a next step, I want to move forward, I want to invest something, energy, time, whatever it is in myself, and you do want to get support, right? I want to take a next step. I know it's a long sentence, but you get to invest in yourself. If you don't have 30 seconds to write that sentence, it's the first investment. Okay, let me take one more minute to see. I'm the most important person. Emily, great takeaway. The self-investment, great takeaway, Heather. You're the most important person in your life, Tina. Great. Oh, I see this. Okay, I'm resisting the type out words, but energetically it feels good. Yes, and you are doing it, Emily, already. Okay, great. So what is the most important thing you got out of this? What are you hearing me say? What is something that is important to you that you will implement, that you will tune in? Leave a comment below. And if you are ready to take a next step and you want my help in any way that looks like, I don't know it. I have to connect with you. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you need, but I know I can help you to find out what your next step is. Then you write on the comment section, I want to take a next step. And you get to write that You get to write that down, you get to put it out there, and you get to make a move, take action, and set the energy. Because as long as we're stuck in I have to or I can do it all myself, you might stay stuck for a long, long time. So I'm not attached to doing that with me, but I am totally attached to making a difference for you. So whatever you're hearing me say today, take a step, take action, do something, and invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, even if that's giving you permission to even explore the opportunity or the possibility to speak with me to find out what your next step might be. It might not even be with me, but I will help you find out. So leave your comment below, do it now. And I am super excited to get started with the bootcamp tomorrow and seeing you next Monday again. And make sure that between today and next Monday, you do something different so that you're not at the same place next Monday where you are today. Okay, thank you so much for being here with me. I love you, I appreciate you. I wish you a soul-infused, inspired, and energized day. Much love.